Well, time for another update, silver update, with the Putin the dog cat. It's the only cat I ever had that acts like a dog. He follows me everywhere. I can call him, he can come to me, but he follows me so much I don't like calling him. That's why I got another cat, so he can bug the shit out of that guy. But anyway, it's going up there right now. But let me say this about silver. You know, the big argument is inflation versus deflation. And you know, over the last couple of years, they can kind of argue deflation. But that is not what is going to happen. Let me explain it to you, you know? Explain it. It's it's going to be inflation. And, you know, Alan Greenspan even warned us about this. You know, he was being cute when he put out that stuff he was worried about. People forget. Oh, people forget. You know, it wasn't that long ago. What, a couple months ago, Alan Greenspan put out about he's worried about hyperinflation. You know, it's dangerous what the Fed policies are doing. Actually, it's dangerous even what Japanese central bank is doing too. It can release a hell of a lot of inflation, and it is. It's going to. Now, the other thing is, you know, we just had the jobs report that came in for December. There's 77,000. They expected 200-something thousand. Now they're like, oh, gee, what's that mean, right? Economy's slowing down. The economy never really picked up that much. Actually, it was government spending that made all the numbers look good on the GDP for the last several years, right? So, I'm telling you this, though. You know, it's all, I hate to say doom and gloom, because I'm going to keep interjecting other types of videos out here for stuff, too, because I think they're more important than some of these updates. These are more like psychological updates, but you're in the right area. Just like I said, you know, if you got enough silver, you don't have to keep stacking or whatever the hell it is, you know. I don't call it stacking. That's a phrase. It's a dumb phrase. I call it like saving. I call it saving. And, you know, I call it like saving in a shrewd way that's outside the whole deal. And it's going to play out because it's an asset that can't be really measured electronically when you physically have it. You know, even the NSA don't know. You know, so I got 1 ounce of silver, you know, just for the record on YouTube. I have 1 ounce of silver, so I'm holding on to it, okay? Anyway, you know, the thing is, though, the economy, besides the jobs report, and I've been saying this before because I looked at other statistics. You know how they say the housing market was recovering? It was a little suspicious because they showed the number of, you know, revenue from all housing sales going up, but the number of buyers was decreasing, which was telling me that there was big bucks individuals trying to buy up lots of stuff so they could maybe use it as rentals or whatever the hell they were doing. I don't know, but it was telling you it wasn't the average person that was buying up the markets, you know, in the real estate market. And now it's showing up. The latest numbers from Citigroup and Citibank and J.P. Morgan. That's why they're not making as much money. The home loans are slowing down, and the interest rates are creeping up. Right? They went over 3% just recently, a multi-year high because of you know, the QE supposedly tapering. This shit it isn't going to taper. Now, there's another cute word out there the PhDs and stuff like to throw out. It's called disinflation. You probably heard this dumb word. I call it a dumb word because it's, you see, when there's hyperinflation, and let's say that's 20% or more a year real inflation, right? That doesn't mean it's going to be like 1,000% or 10,000%, but who the hell knows what could actually happen, you know, long term. But I use this cute word called disinflation. Disinflation, they call it that because big ticket items go down in price and essentials go up in price. Essentials being energy and food and things like that people have to have, food especially, they go up in price, whereas big ticket items like furniture, cars, and houses go down in price. But that's what happens during hyperinflation. It's what always happens. That's why I even gave that example, you know, I was trying to give to the average person, you know, maybe because I got mostly guys on, males listening to this channel. You know, if they're going to reinvest some silver, and I'm not saying to do this for all your silver, say it goes up to $400 an ounce, you might want to get one classic car and store it in a garage because maybe the classic cars that were costing $50,000 or $40,000 today might be $10,000 or $8,000 tomorrow, while silver goes from 20 to 400. Crazy, right? Well, then you could take one single roll of your silver and buy a whole car. So that's what you could do. Now, the other things that are coming up, Marc Faber talked about the correction in the markets. He's been talking about it. He says we're going to have a 1987 style type of correction. To me, it's obvious he's going to be right. He's been right when everybody else has been wrong. That's a very important consideration, too. I mean, just because a lot of people are saying something, it doesn't mean that the majority is going to be right. You got to look at a track record of a guy that's the Maverick. He's been right. But, it's common sense, too, because look at the PE ratios on the stocks. Look at the earnings. The earnings are rolling over, right? They're rolling over, right? I don't know, I could throw up a chart, but they're going like this, right? They're rolling over. The earnings are rolling over. The PE ratios are the price-earnings ratios for the price of stocks, earnings ratios, are right about where the peak was last time we had a reset. So a 30-40% correction is not, especially after we had a 30% run-up in 1 year, a 30 to 40% correction is not, unlikely. Of course, how much it could correct, I don't know. It's not going to, in today's day and age, it's not going to correct 90% because what's going to happen is the Fed, which, they got too many tools at their disposal, they can prop the price of the stocks up. So, but there probably is going to be a correction. That's why I said George Soros had that short bet on the S&P. He placed it in mid-August of 2013. I'm sure he's still holding on to it. It'll play out sometime in 2014. So that'll be the deal. Also want to make mention of Jim Rogers. I think Jim Rogers, if he invests in Russia, he's going to get his ass handed to him, man. Because, I don't know. There's a classic thing. It actually goes back to the 70s. I knew about a lot of this stuff. They have, I talk about alternative health with Dr. Robert C. Beck, the PhD in science. And there's also Dr. Robert Otto Becker. I talk about that sometimes. He's an MD. And he worked in these areas where they use frequencies for medicines, healing and stuff. They also use it for healing the mind. Well, frequencies can also be used to influence people. They can make their mood one way or the other. And they've been doing this since the 70s in Russia. These guys know their shit. They can do stuff to all kinds of people, right? So Jim Rogers, if he goes over to Russia, they're going to be hitting him with all of the mind meld frequencies, while they're giving him their presentations why he should invest in Russia, and he's going to bite. They do this. I almost guarantee you they do this. Not that I know this for an absolute fact, but, if I was them, I'd do it. I would. I mean, if I was sitting there in Russia and I had this little thing that I could influence people when I'm giving a presentation to make them invest their money with me, with subliminal messages and frequencies, I'd do it too, So, I think Jim Rogers is going to invest in Russia and he's going to get his ass handed to him. That's what I think. I wouldn't go over there. Anyway, they're always looking for Western cash. That's what those guys do. They look for Western money. They criticize the West, but they always look for Western money. They always got to have Western money, Hey, whatever. I always said the ruble is rubble, but I'll take some for free. That's what I always say, too. Anyway, but there's going to be a lot of inflation out there coming up. It's going to hit fast. You know what happens? Why do people not buy gold and silver and all these hyperinflation scenarios and all this type of stuff? Why do people not do it? What happens? What happens in every freaking situation that there's hyperinflation? Nobody knows it's coming. There's no weather forecaster out there to tell you it's coming up. I mean, there's a few people that might say it, but the majority says, nah, business as usual. That's not the deal. You see, that's why people get caught off guard. That's really why I'm kind of putting some of this stuff out. I ain't really selling silver. I'm not pumping silver. It's a smart thing to do. And I always said, you don't go 100% into silver, God. People are freaking crazy for doing that shit. You know, you don't go 100% into anything. But inflation is going to be on the way because now that we got this jobs report bad, and you know, I bet you the Christmas retail. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I just recalled that the Christmas retail season was really bad. It was bad over the worst one I think since 2009. This year, it was. That's right. It was. I forgot about that. And we got the jobs report, which was horrible, 77,000 versus 200-something thousand expected. Now it looks like the real estate market's rolling over, which I expected. Now, all you got to do is start having a correction in the stock market. And you think they're going to have any kind of QE, especially with China not buying the bonds anymore, not adding any more U.S. debt? Oh, they're going to have QE, they're going to have all kinds of stimulus policies. And we're going to have more record debt in the United States than any other time. And what did, you know, this is even coming from like the silver pumpers. What did Warren Buffett say? Beware of paper currencies. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. So, you know, I'm telling you stuff that's not coming from, you know, I don't repeat the crap that these silver bloggers put out and stuff. I don't repeat anything that comes from David Morgan or stuff. Actually, I'm going to tell you right now, that guy Eric Sprott, now that he got slammed by his own investment firm, or whatever the hell it is in a fund, that he shouldn't be making decisions, he's going to have a major comeback. He's going to be the comeback kid. Watch. He's going to have more money than he ever had in his whole freaking life. He's not going to be a billionaire. He's going to be a multi-billionaire. Watch. Watch. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I just like to know when he sells next time, you know? Because he probably knows stuff that I'm never going to know. I'm going to only have to use common sense, you know? But I'm going to kind of use common sense in steps. Now, if I freaking knew for sure, well, I'd never say YouTube. I wouldn't, because that'd be letting the cat out of the bag. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly if, you know, I expect a major, if it busts through 50, I don't expect it to go to like hundreds of dollars an ounce from there. Although I bet you every single blog, you know, assuming this happens, if it goes through 50 really fast and it goes up there too quick, every single blogger out there is going to tell you it's going to go to 500,000 immediately. I don't think so. If it gets too fast, it goes up really fast in 2014. I think it's going to have another crash. Then it's going to go way up. Actually, 2017, 2018, there might be some other serious conflicts happening. Maybe not the Middle East. It might be with China. That's what I'm thinking, over oil. So, you know, in that kind of climate, precious metals can really, really, really fly. You know, stuff doesn't happen all at once. You know, that's the thing. That's my take on it right now. But I'm too cautious that I would not sell too much, even if I had, you know, double or triple or quadruple gains, because I think the gains are going to be like 20-fold ultimately. And that's a very important consideration. But more important too is I'm going to keep continuing on with some of this vehicle stuff, car stuff, because that's going to be one area that's going to hit people a lot, because I think the price of gasoline is going to keep going up. And I looked at those recent statistics about the retail sales of gasoline dropping off a cliff. That means people don't have money to drive around, even though the cars are more economical. They don't have any kind of, like, you know, discretionary spending money. They don't have that. They're economizing. So, but there's a lot of stuff you can do, you know, because I'm thinking is if it goes up to, you know, $8 a gallon for gasoline at a point in time, you know, if you got your car and it's got 20 gallons in it, it's going to cost you $160 to fill up your car. And that'll kill the freaking budget on the average person big time. Plus the food could be doubling. Wow. Wow. You know, that's why you're buying silver, because I think this situation is going to come up. And, you know, people that are on food stamps, even if the food stamp program is continued, that they're still talking about cutting $9 billion from the food stamp program. But say they didn't even cut inflation's going to make the food stamp program look like a small amount of money again because of the prices of food. So, stick with your investment. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about, this is an investment that's a little bit more than an investment. Like I said, every freaking time that inflation hit, it was unexpected. That's why people didn't buy gold and silver back in all these other countries before inflation hit. Nobody saw it coming, except maybe a few people, and they never said a damn thing about it. And, I say inflation's going to hit. This word disinflation means nothing. It's the same thing. Big ticket items are going to go down. So if you have, gobs of silver, lots of it, you might want to buy a big ticket item that dropped off the cliff at the time inflation's going on. Inflation's going to be mainly in food, energy, and precious metals. That's where it's going to happen. And other things are going to be dropping off the side of a cliff, like furniture and stuff like that. You might want all new office furniture or whatever the hell you want. That's the time to buy. That's the time to buy. So just stick with your investment, and I don't call it stacking, whatever the hell you want to call it. Just adding a little bit more here and there. Call it saving, but it's not the only thing, but it's probably going to play out if you hit it the right way. You're actually going to be playing out where it's going to be a stellar investment, a very stellar investment, especially if you exchange for new capital assets in a type of way where you're not trading it into cash, and you're doing another exchange, and it's like, nobody sees it, right? That's something else you might want to consider too.